So I was asked about a Christmas story, and I have a little Christmas story to tell about. It's been in my head for 12 years, and it happened on Christmas Eve in 2008. I was at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital with my 15-year-old daughter, and we had been there for several months. We were having kind of a rough time, and there were many, many days that I spent there in my daughter's room. She was inpatient, so I had to be in the hospital most of the time. I sat with her all the time. I never left her, very rarely, but this particular Christmas Eve, I decided that maybe I would go down and sit in the lobby of the hospital where she and I would go sometimes just to take a break and see people coming and going. And so I decided, as she was drifting off to sleep that evening around 5 o'clock, that I would go down to the lobby of the hospital by myself and just kind of take a break. And I was feeling particularly sorry for myself. I had missed a lot of Christmas fun, parties and office parties and just the normal things that we do at Christmas. I was there at the hospital and I was pretty sad. I felt pretty sorry for myself, and I felt very sorry for my child. I went down to the brown couches in the lobby and sat there, and I saw the bus pull up that takes the children from the hospital to the Ronald McDonald House, the children that are so sick that they have to stay there for months, and some of them even years at a time, and be treated by the hospital. And as I watched the bus pull up, I thought, I think I'll just get on the bus for a ride and take a look at the decorations across town as they cross Memphis to go to the Ronald McDonald House. And I boarded the bus. I got on the very back row, and I sat there and I waited. And as the children boarded with their parents, most of them had one parent with them, they got on and all sat more toward the front of the bus. It's like a large van, actually. And we drove. And I looked out and tried to look at the decorations, and I was thinking, oh boy, I can't believe I'm here, Christmas Eve, and I'm here. But I looked at the children in front of me, and I noticed that they were, as we were traveling, their little heads were bouncing up and down as we hit the bumps and everything, and most of them were bald-headed. And I looked in at the one that was closest to me. He was probably 2 rows in front of me, and it was about an 8-year-old boy, and he had a cross that was on the back of his head. He was bald-headed, and it was a cross, and I recognized it to be a cross that the doctors use to direct the machine that does the radiation treatment for the patients. And so I thought, oh my gosh, that's where his radiation is going. That's what he's just done. He's just had radiation, and tomorrow he'll go back for more. And then I realized it was a cross, and it was like a religious symbol. All of a sudden it became a religious symbol and not a cross that was going to help the doctors with the medicine and the treatment for this little boy. And I thought, oh God, I feel like you're just talking to me. And then I looked at the children with different eyes, and I looked out the bus window, and I felt much more like that there's hope, and it's a good thing at St. Jude, and I was just so moved spiritually by the cross that was in front of me. I think I had prayed, of course, every day for health for my daughter and hope for the children, but I didn't really realize what that hope was until that particular bus ride on Christmas Eve. And when we pulled up to the Ronald McDonald House and the children got off, I I rode back by myself on the back of the bus back to the hospital a few minutes later. And when I got off the bus, I walked into the hospital. It was cold, and I stopped at the big windows that look out at the entryway there at St. Jude, and I saw the bus sitting there with the doors open, and the children, the next load of children were getting back on, and I thought, oh my gosh, that bus ride was incredible. I have just had such an awakening of my own spirit, and I felt so good about everything then. But I did go back up to my daughter's room, and she was just kind of waking up in her bed, and she looked at me and she said, "Mom," she said, "where have you been?" And I said, I went on a bus ride. I went on the bus ride to the Ronald McDonald House. And she said, "Oh, really?" And she said, "How was that?" And I said, "It was really, really good." And I said, "Actually, I think God was sitting in the seat next to me on the bus ride." And I felt his presence so vividly. And I wanted to share this story with people for a long time. So now I've done it, and you know about my Christmas Eve ride with God on the back of the bus.